Welcome to Crimecast. Organized crime has long been a dark underbelly of society, and the Mafia is one of the most notorious criminal organizations in history. Over the years, the Mafia has engaged in a series of violent conflicts known as Mafia Wars. In today's cast, we are unveiling 10 brutal Mafia wars and their impact on organized crime. Without any delay, let's dive in. The Castello Marys War, which took place between 1930 and 1931, was one of the most significant and brutal mafia wars in American history. It was a power struggle between two factions of the Sicilian Mafia in New York City, led by Salvatore Maranzano and Giuseppe Masseria. This conflict would not only reshape the structure of organized crime in America, but also leave a lasting impact on the criminal underworld. At the heart of the Castello Marys War were disputes over control of lucrative criminal activities, such as bootlegging during Prohibition and extortion. Both Maranzano and Masseria sought to establish dominance and control over these illicit enterprises, as well as the various Italian-American criminal organizations that operate under their respective wings. The Triad Wars were a series of power struggles between the rival Chinese Triad societies in Hong Kong. These conflicts were fought over the control of illegal activities such as drug trafficking, prostitution, and gambling. The wars had a profound impact on the Triad operations and led to increased police scrutiny and government crackdowns. The Irish Mob Wars refer to a series of violent conflicts and power struggles that occurred within the Irish-American criminal underworld in the 20th and early 21st centuries. These wars were primarily taking place in major US cities such as Boston and New York, and involved various Irish-American organized crime groups vying for control over criminal enterprises, territories, and illicit activities. The Irish Mob Wars were marked by intense rivalry, bloodshed, and a quest for dominance among different factions within the Irish-American criminal organizations. These factions included prominent groups such as the Winter Hill Gang in Boston and the Westies in New York City. One of the most notable Irish mob wars was the war fought between the Winter Hill Gang, led by James Whitey Bulger, and the patriarchal crime family in the 1960s. This conflict erupted over control of various criminal activities, including illegal gambling, loan sharking, and extortion. The war resulted in numerous casualties as both sides engaged in acts of violence, including bombings and assassinations. The Mafia Camorra War erupted in Naples, Italy during the early 1980s. The war pitted two powerful criminal organizations against each other, resulting in a high number of casualties. The conflict revealed the extent of the Mafia's influence and control over various aspects of Italian society, including politics and business. The Sicilian Mafia, also known as Cosa Nostra, is one of the most infamous and enduring criminal organizations in the world. Originating in Sicily, Italy, the Mafia had a long and a complex history characterized by secrecy, violence, and a code of conduct known as omertà. The Sicilian Mafia has had a profound impact on Sicilian society, Italian politics, and the global organized crime landscape. The roots of the Sicilian Mafia can be traced back to the late 19th century, when Sicily was under a control of various foreign powers. The Mafia emerged as a clandestine network that provided protection, arbitration, and justice in the absence of an effective government. It offered a sense of order and stability in a society plagued by poverty, corruption, and lawlessness. Over time, the Mafia evolved into a sophisticated criminal organization involved in a wide range of illegal activities. These include drug trafficking, extortion, racketeering, money laundering, and political corruption. The Mafia's control over these illicit enterprises has allowed it to accumulate vast wealth and influence. The dissolution of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s created a power vacuum that was quickly filled by various criminal organizations, most notably the Russian Mafia. These wars were marked by extreme violence as different factions fought for control of the lucrative criminal enterprises, resulting in widespread chaos and the establishment of powerful mafia groups. The Montreal Mafia War was a bloody conflict fought between the rival factions of the Italian Mafia in Canada. The struggle for control over drug trafficking and other criminal activities led to a series of high-profile assassinations. The war exposed the vulnerabilities of the Montreal Mafia and weakened its influence significantly. The Second Ndrangheta War, spanning from 1985 to 1991, was a violent and a bloody conflict that engulfed the Calabrian Mafia, known as Ndrangheta. This internal war was fought between two rival factions led by Paolo De Stefano and Domenico Liberi, resulting in a significant loss of lives and leaving a lasting impact on the Ndrangheta's structure and operations. The Ndrangheta, based in the region of Calabria, Italy, is one of the most powerful and secretive criminal organizations in the world. It has deep-rooted traditions, a hierarchical structure and a stronghold over various illegal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion, and money laundering. The Second Ndrangheta War was fueled by power struggles and internal divisions within the organization. Paolo De Stefano and Domenico Liberi represented two competing factions vying for control and influence over the Ndrangheta operations. Their rivalry escalated into a full-blown conflict that spread throughout Calabria and involved numerous families and clans associated with the Ndrangheta. While not strictly a mafia war, the Mexican drug cartel wars have had a similar impact on organized crime. The conflict between powerful drug cartels seeking control over lucrative smuggling routes has led to unprecedented levels of violence and bloodshed in Mexico. The cartels' battle for supremacy have destabilized the region and contributed to a rising death toll and widespread corruption. Following the breakup of Yugoslavia, the Balkan region became a hotbed of criminal activity. The wars fought between various Balkan mafia factions were fueled by ethnic tensions, political instability, and control over lucrative criminal enterprises. These conflicts not only claimed countless lives, but also further perpetuated the cycle of violence and corruption in the region. In conclusion, the history of organized crime is punctuated by violent conflicts and power struggles, with mafia wars being some of the bloodiest and most influential. These wars have shaped the structure and operations of criminal organizations around the world and have had far-reaching consequences for the communities in which they've operated. Thank you for watching. We hope this video has brought you valuable insight and information, so don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon.